You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you were with us, or you were with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Guns will be taken, and no one will be able to be armed. We will take all guns.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Is global governance at last? Is it one world? The central bankers in charge. But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do?
As for me, give me liberty or give me death!
Live from the Infowars.com studios, it's Alex Jones.
You're not funny, clown.
Okay, blow that horn one more time. I'm gonna shove it right up here. I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy. I'll kill you all.
Armed psychopathic clowns are becoming a worldwide phenomenon. 42 years ago, John Wayne Gacy, a former Democratic Party member and psychopathic clown known as Pogo the Clown, stalked Chicago, Illinois from 1972 until 1978, killing at least 33 young men.
Aren't you gonna say hello?
The latest rash of evil clowns was first spotted in September of 2013 in Northern Ireland in the seaside town of Carrickfergus. 2 mysterious characters, one known as the Carrick Killer Clown and his sidekick, caused a disturbance when they were seen acting suspiciously near a secondary school.
Hands up, clan! We've got you now! We've got the clans.
That incident inspired more clown mischief in California and New York. An independent film company out of Staten Island, New York, created what appears to be a promotional campaign that went viral. It began with people linked to the production company utilizing social media to create a panic that a creepy clown was stalking the community. That viral social media ploy has spawned worldwide attention due to the popularity of American Horror Story freak shows Twisty the Clown and the popularity of scare prank YouTube videos that have netted tens of millions of viewers. Teenagers in France and Spain are now copycatting the viral videos. More than a dozen French teenagers armed with pistols, knives, and baseball bats have been arrested for attacking people. One pedestrian in Montpellier, France, was attacked by a killer clown wielding an iron bar. Now Spain's Gijon clown has arrived in the wee hours of the night. Spain has a youth unemployment rate of 56%. While France's youth unemployment rate is 26%. As the fabric of society is torn apart by corporate piracy and inadequate leadership, I would expect we will see a rise of killer clown attacks and the like by large portions of global society with nothing to lose. Teenagers in France were warned by the police not to take action against the killer clowns.
It's a prank.
No. Get that out of it.
As the killer clown phenomenon grows, so does the killer clown vigilante phenomenon.
We're filming. It's a prank.
Get out of here. Come back here. 10 minutes. Come back
Guys like that, you know? You give clowns a bad name.
John Bound, Infowars.com.
I'm Alex Jones. This is a breaking Ebola news update. In a moment, I'm going to break down some very important developments where the World Health Organization itself is now saying that the incubation period is not just 21 days, but can be up to 41 days. This was announced today, as it was also announced that they are releasing dozens and dozens of quarantine Americans who were around patient 0 in Dallas only after 21 days of observation. And as more flights come into the United States from West Africa with people exhibiting signs of Ebola, it's clear that there is an attempt to whitewash and cover up exactly what's happening. But before we get into that, I want to just point out that Infowars.com, the nightly news, and everything we do here is about us trying to find out what's really happening, not coming at you with a preset agenda or view like the controlled left or controlled right and the state-run media does. I want to know what's really happening with Ebola. I want to know if there are things out there that could protect this country and protect my 3 children, just as you do. We're teleprompter free here, ladies and gentlemen. This is about really doing the analysis, really talking to a wide spectrum of experts and not trusting the system. And that's the good news. There are several polls out just this week. Public confidence in the CDC nosedives, CBS News reports in a major poll. Another story, 64% believe America is out of control. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, America is getting more and more out of control. But the good news is when African leaders come out and say that this Ebola could be weaponized, people really aren't laughing anymore. In fact, we have an article on Infowars.com that has a BBC video in it. Secret project created weaponized Ebola in South Africa in the 1980s to be used against blacks to reduce their population. So the alternative media is now becoming the dominant media, and we go out and source real facts and what's already admitted, and the system calls us conspiracy theorists and attacks us in publications every day, and it has no effect other than boosting our credibility. The arrogant, dying dinosaur media still thinks that demonizing us is effective. It's not, ladies and gentlemen.
Alex Jones may sound crazy, but still has 300 million YouTube, well, he had 300 million people that have watched him on YouTube, and that sort of fringe, arch-conservative, deeply, I think, racist strain is being tapped into at crazy profit by people in the media.
Well, it is, and I think that the point you just made is the key thing, at crazy profit. These folks are getting paid to be racist.
Now shifting to the potentially bad news, the breaking info, CNN today, UN staffer dies of Ebola, monitoring ends for 43 in Texas. 43 people who came in contact with Ebola patient Thomas Eric Duncan are now officially cleared after not demonstrating any symptoms during a 21-day monitoring period. Here's the problem. The UN, on its own World Health Organization website, and other mainline virology sites state the same fact, say that Ebola can easily live for 41 days in the body and 70 days in the semen in a man's testicles. So they are releasing people who are around this Ebola patient, and he's already infected 2 nurses who could not exhibit signs for another 21 days. And this fits into the pattern of bringing in the West African flights when other nations ban it. When they're putting Ebola patients in regular hospitals, and the CDC told one of the nurses, doesn't matter if you treated an Ebola patient and you've got fever, go ahead and fly, honey. This is part of a pattern of trying to let Ebola get a foothold in this country so the CDC, FEMA, and NORTHCOM can engage in a giant domestic power grab of medical tyranny. The feds have been buying millions of firearms, billions of bullets, and other forms of ammunition. They've been buying huge armored vehicles and deploying them in every city and digging in for biological catastrophe. I don't know if this Ebola event is that. What I do know is they're making preparations while telling us that we shouldn't be prepared. Just like they tell us we shouldn't own guns, even though the highest crime rates are in Chicago, New York, and D.C., where they have an abolition of the individual's right to keep and bear arms. Well, I personally am getting prepared. I saw them take the guns in Katrina and raid the houses of people that had their own solar power and were high and dry. I witnessed people a few years ago with the hurricane that hit the East Coast begging for FEMA to help them and getting zero help for week after week after week. And who could forget that famous sign that FEMA hung on their door saying, "We're closed because of bad weather"? I'm not sitting back waiting for the government to come protect me and take care of me. They've shown time and time again they have very bad intent and bad will against the people, not goodwill. They want crises to get out of control so they can pose as the saviors and sell their toxic vaccines and other poisons as a solution. Well, I'm personally getting my body ready with plenty of sunshine, organic food, purified water. Myself